which we might see some of today. So you got Harbor Island directly on our starboard side, and then Shelter Island. These islands were developed in the 60s, and with the dredging and the development of these islands, it afforded a lot of space for yachts. They say there's over 3,000 boat slips in all of San Diego. If you're here yacht shopping, you better get on a list for that slip, because they say it takes about 5 years. But you can see all the sailboats back behind the islands, all the sailboat masts. Sport fishing, also very, very popular here. There goes a big bird leaving from Lindbergh Field right there to our 3 o'clock. So as we're heading out, be looking for sea life, sea lions, dolphins. You might see some dolphins. So again, everything on our starboard or our right side is Harbor Island and Shelter Island. Lots of restaurants, lots of famous restaurants in San Diego. If anybody has any questions about restaurants, ask any of us. But one of the most popular is just over to about 2 o'clock right now, is the yellow building with the red roof. That's Tom Hamm's Lighthouse restaurant. And it was kind of run down, and then a fellow named Tom Hamm, who was an accountant, came to help his friend get it back off its feet, and he enjoyed the restaurant business so much that he kept the restaurant. It actually is a working light beacon. It's beacon number 9. Okay, when this boat goes by, folks, we're going to have a little bit of a roll or a wake, so please have a hand on a railing if you're standing up. The Tom Hamm's Lighthouse off to our right. Really good spot to eat. They said that sailing is one of the very popular sports in the area. I see one sailboat out there not moving very fast. Just to make a mental note of how many boats you see right now, and when we come back in, I'll bet you there'll be probably almost a lot more sailboats out. The wind generally picks up about noon. So a little wake right here, so please grab a hand on a railing or something. Not too bad. Everything over on our port side or our left side is Navy Base North Island. It's actually the home of naval aviation. Seahawk helicopters located over there. We might see some cargo planes, cargo jets, and even fighter jets coming in and out. So we'll talk a little bit more about that on our way out. Big sailing, big harbor over to our right is America's Cup Harbor. Do I have any sailboat racers on board? Any sailors at all? You've probably heard of the America's Cup. It's a big race. It was actually started after a race in England. There's a sailing ship called the America. Back in the 1800s, 1851, went to race in England, and the America was built by the New York Yacht Club. And it, so as the word goes, it smoked the British fleet, and that was the birth of the America's Cup. They brought the trophy back to America, and the America's Cup races have been going ever since. We might see the America. It's a beautiful sailing ship. They have actually, it was destroyed in World War II, but it has been renovated. The replica of the ship has been built, and they are often out offshore whale watching. And that's America's Cup Harbor, right over to our right. You see lots of sailboats moored or anchored over there as well. That's one of the lesser expensive ways to live in San Diego. A lot of people say San Diego's an expensive place to live, but which those of us that live here know all too well. Well, there are over 480 moorings or anchorages in San Diego, all owned by one company, the San Diego Mooring Company, and you can rent those anchorages, tie your sailboat up, and a lot of people do that and live on their sailboats. Price ranges anywhere from about $300 a month on up to about $800 a month, depending on the size of your boat. But if any of you are boat owners, having a boat is not necessarily inexpensive. Boat, I like to say, means bring on another 1,000. It's an acronym for boat. But that's Shelter Island over to our right. They were not allowed to build anything taller than one of the restaurants over on Shelter Island. You can see those lower buildings. We just passed off to about our 4 o'clock. The Valley High restaurant. It's got a green roof and a totem pole on top. It's a Polynesian themed restaurant. It's famous for its Mai Tais. Has anyone ever had a Mai Tai? You don't know what a Mai Tai is? Everybody, y'all being shy? Come on. I know you know what a Mai Tai is. Valley High is famous for its Mai Tais. You're only allowed to have 2. They will cut you off after 2 Mai Tais. Mai Tai is a drink that is, it's all alcohol, no juice. Sandy can make a good one, and I think she puts a little bit of juice in it too, so it's tolerable. But nothing was permitted to be built taller than the Valley High restaurant to offer the beautiful view of the bay for the folks that live in the Point Loma neighborhood, which is what you see up on the hill. That's Point Loma.
You're good. Don't worry about it. It's just running. It's gonna catch whatever goes in front of it.
So if you notice over to our starboard or our right side at about our 2 o'clock, you'll see a blue-hulled boat. There's a pretty kind of trimaran going by, but blue-hulled boat with a white bridge. This is one of 5 research vessels from Scripps Institute of Oceanography. Scripps Institute of Oceanography is one of the foremost oceanographic research institutes in the country, and this is where they dock their ships. Like
don't worry about it.
Right
it's
now.
fine.
But once we get past the Scripps vessel, we'll be again bordered by the Navy base Point Loma. So we're all surrounded by Navy here. With that said, do I have any veterans on board or active duty military? I'd like to thank you all for your service. If you're here, thank you so much. Really interesting spot that we're passing right now, and we'll keep our eyes open if they're doing some training. San Diego is home to the Naval Marine Mammal Training Institute or Center, the Navy Marine Mammal Training. So marine mammals include your dolphins, sea lions, your whales, and since the 60s, the Navy has instituted a training program for dolphins and sea lions. Interesting, and it's located right over to our starboard side. Sometimes we'll see the boats out training the dolphins and sea lions, and that's kind of fun. So people ask why, why do they train the dolphins? Well, interestingly enough, the dolphins that they use come from the Atlantic.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's recording over your head.
The Atlantic bottlenose dolphin, a different species than what we find out here. They are used to shallower, murkier water. These dolphins, with their very sophisticated echolocation or sonar capabilities, can locate anomalies or strange, another word for strange things in the water, like a diver that shouldn't be there, a person, or they're used often to locate unexploded ordnance in areas of conflict. No danger to the dolphin, believe me. These dolphins have probably better health care than we do. They're fed regularly and very, very well cared for. A whole team of veterinary vets and scientists take care of these animals. The sea lions can dive up to 200 feet and have very good eyesight, so they can be used to locate things in the water as well, and something a human could never do. Those big white canisters over on the starboard side on 3 o'clock, those are fuel canisters, fuel containers, ships that come in and tie up right here. A lot of people ask about that James the left of this. No, it's not the first McDonald's over on our starboard side up on top of the hill at 3 o'clock. You see that round metal structure? That's actually a radar simulator. It's kind of neat if you drive up to the Cabrillo National Monument, which is all over here on our right. Underneath that round metal structure, they have replicas of naval ships. And what that does is the ships, it reflects the footprint or the radar image that those ships give out, so they can test different radar footprints of ships. So this is all Naval Base Point Loma. Up on top of the hill is the Rosecrans Cemetery. Rosecrans Cemetery is a military cemetery, second only in size to Arlington. Over 100,000 service members and their families buried there, including 25 Medal of Honor recipients. Beautiful view from up there of both the bay and the ocean. So this is Point Loma, is a big peninsula.
Oh, you're fine.
That sticks out into the view of the bay and the ocean. The area directly to our starboard side at Navy Base Point Loma, this is the Submarine Base. This is home to the LA Fast Attack submarines. The area that kind of looks like a garage, kind of like a tall area on either side, that's a dry dock. That's where they'll literally take a submarine and with tugboats, the AIDA tugboats, they'll tow it in there and lift it out of the water. And that's where they can work on the boat, paint the bottom, and do things that they need to do with the submarines out of the water. And just before we get into the Pacific Ocean, our last point of, one of two last points of interest is Ballast Point. This area to the right of the white building. Ballast Point is famous for three things. I like to say sailing, whaling, and ailing. So ballast is another word for weight. When ships are sailing in the ocean, big sailing ships in particular, they do a lot better when they have a lot of weight in their hull or in their bilge, in their bottom. So if ships coming in to pick up cargo in San Diego or to pick up whaling material, oil and meat,